Yo, how's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Pokemon Journeys series. We'll be covering episode 108 in today's review, and it's the return of Greninja, Gikoga, the goat of Kalos. So, how was this episode overall? Well, before we get on to that, you guys know the drill. You're new to the channel, you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It'd be pretty awesome if you do that. But anyways, let's talk about this Greninja episode. So the episode has a pretty interesting beginning, but it's starting out with a news broadcast. It doesn't have the usual intro it usually has for the series where it talks about Ash and Go's dreams. It actually starts out with a news broadcast hyping up Ash's upcoming battle with Raihan, which I thought was pretty cool. This is obviously a worldwide event, so this is not out of the ordinary. Plus, Ash is considered the rising star of Kanto, as he basically rose up really quickly in the ranks in the Pokemon World Championships. So it's actually pretty cool to see that Ash is getting quite a bit of recognition for this. But Ash is actually doing some training with his Pokemon while this news broadcast is going on. That's our boy Ash. So him, Lucario, and Dragonite are training. Go and Koharu bring some snacks, they take a break, but Lucario is still itching the battle, so ends up training with Cinderace. And Eevee sees this and actually does some training with Go's newly caught Froakie, which ends up evolving into Frogadier, and this gives Ash the idea of going to visit Greninja and have Lucario meet Greninja. So Ash and Go head off to the Kalos region. Now, interesting enough, while Ash and Go head into the Kalos region, Raihan is actually meeting up with some fans, taking selfies with them, and does some training on his own. Which, I thought this whole segment in the episode was actually pretty interesting, where he's reflecting on his previous battle with Leon. He's frustrated because he can't beat Leon ever. So he can't afford to lose this battle against Ash, because he definitely wants to take down Leon someday. So if he ends up losing this battle with Ash, he's out of the Masters 8. And his dream of taking Leon down, at least in this season of the Pokemon World Championships, it's out of the question. So he absolutely can't afford to lose this battle. But one thing I thought was pretty interesting, apparently the reason why he takes selfies is to basically remember the moment and to basically get stronger from that said moment when he took that selfie. Which I think that's actually pretty interesting, I guess, reason why he takes these selfies. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. But anyways, moving on to the actual content in the episode. Now, after searching for Greninja over the course of a day, Ash and Go are unsuccessful, but eventually, overnight, Ash and Lucario are able to sense Greninja's presence. Ash being able to sense him with his bond with Greninja, and Lucario most likely with his aura. They go out in the middle of the night and end up running into one of those roots that appeared during the Team Player arc that was still causing problems in Kalos, which is why Greninja left Ash's team in the first place. And they can't do anything about it. Lucario can't break the roots, can't destroy them. But that's when Greninja shows up and basically takes care of the roots. With no problem whatsoever. So yeah, Ash is finally reunited with Greninja. And Lucario immediately wants to battle against Greninja, which Greninja accepts, and yeah, this is pretty much a one-sided battle as Lucario can't do anything to Greninja. Greninja is just way too fast, way too powerful. Nothing Lucario does even works. Ash was going to Mega Evolve Lucario, but Lucario, being stubborn, just tries to go off and attack Greninja without Mega Evolving, and ends up failing and gets frustrated and runs off. And Greninja actually follows behind and actually catches up with Lucario. It seems like he does some bond training or aura training with Lucario to strengthen his bond with Ash, which is shown as Ash, Go, Pikachu, and Grookey are just hanging out, waiting for Lucario and Greninja to return when one of those roots starts to basically spring up right behind them. It alerts both Greninja and Lucario. They head back to save Ash and Go, Pikachu and Grookey. So yeah, it just doesn't seem like anybody but Greninja can actually harm these roots. Cinderace and Pikachu try, but they can't break it. And it seems like this root is actually bigger and more powerful than the one that they encountered earlier. That's when Greninja and Lucario show up. And I thought it was pretty cool. Ash commands both of them. And yeah, you can tell that Lucario has actually gained a stronger aura as a result of training with Greninja just a little bit earlier. Ash Mega Evolves Lucario, creates basically a giant Rasengan Aura Sphere, and Greninja creates a bigger Water Shuriken. They attack the root and end up destroying it completely. So, Lucario went from not being able to damage this thing to completely destroying a stronger root. So, yeah, there was some progress with Lucario's training, And so the episode comes to an end with Ash and the others parting ways with Greninja, as Greninja has to take care of these roots still. Unfortunately, that's what Greninja has to do, since Greninja seems to be the only one capable of destroying these roots. But meanwhile, Raihan is still training and is anticipating his battle with Ash as the episode ends. So I gotta say, I love this episode. This was a great episode in my opinion. From beginning to end, this was just great. Journeys, make more episodes like this. I mean, we only have about 6 more months left of Journeys, so I want more episodes like this. I want more consistency, because this was a great episode in my opinion. It was just a joy to watch. The stuff with Greninja, the stuff with Lucario, Raihan was all great. So let's talk about it. Starting with, I don't know, let's talk about Lucario first. So I loved the whole interactions between Lucario and Greninja in this episode. It really felt like Greninja was the mentor, Lucario was learning from Greninja. Obviously, the old ace trains the new ace. So that was pretty cool, and it felt like a passing of a torch, since Greninja pretty much can't leave Kalos at this point. It's pretty clear to me that he's never going to Oak's lab. He's just got to stay in Kalos, because he's the only one that can defeat those roots. Because if he leaves, yeah, Kalos is kind of screwed. So, yeah. I would have loved to see more interactions between these two, because I felt like it was a bit short-lived in the episode. Obviously, there was a lot going on in the episode. But from what we got, I loved it. I love the fact that Greninja was actually mentoring Lucario. His aura got stronger. And as a result, he was able to defeat and destroy the root. So, Lucario ended up leveling up in the end. So, that's pretty cool. And also regarding Greninja, this is probably one of my favorite returns in Journeys. What is it with the Kalos characters and their returns being great? Clement, Bonnie, Serena, and now Greninja have all had solid returns. So I gotta say thank you, Journeys, for treating those returns great. X and Y is a great series, so having their returns be great, it's great. But yeah, I think this was one of the better returns in Journeys. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And hopefully we get to see Greninja again before the series comes to an end. Like I said, I don't think Greninja is ever leaving Kalos, because if he does leave Kalos, yeah, they're kind of screwed. So, yeah, I would have loved to see Greninja face off against someone in the Masters 8. But, you know, from what we got in this episode, I'm pretty content. Now, when it comes to Raihan, I actually like what they did in this episode. In fact, I think that Journeys is actually doing a good job doing some proper build-up to this Ash versus Raihan battle. It's a big deal. Obviously, the Masters 8 is on the line for these two characters, because if Raihan loses, he's out of the Masters 8. If Ash loses, he's never getting in the Masters 8. If he wins, he's in the Masters 8 and he knocks Raihan out. So yeah, there's a lot of stakes going into this upcoming battle. But what this episode does is actually builds on Raihan's character. As we know from the games and the anime, he just can never defeat Leon. He's just frustrated because he can just never beat this guy. And he swears he's going to beat him. So he can't afford to lose this battle. So this episode does a good job of making you want to actually root for Raihan. Obviously we want to root for Ash and for him to defeat Leon. But this episode actually does a good job of actually trying to get us to root for Raihan himself. I don't know, but I just think the episode did a good job there. They focused on him for a little bit, showing his frustration. The whole selfie thing was actually pretty cool. So yeah, I think it was pretty cool. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's episode because of that. And lastly, the flashbacks. My goodness. I love the flashbacks, what we got in this episode. Normally there's only like 1 or 2 for returning characters, but we got several for Greninja. From Ash catching it as a Froakie, to the whole depression arc, and Ash and Greninja making up, to the Kalos League Finals, which was kind of weird because it was just regular Greninja instead of Ash Greninja. But we got to see Alon here in the Journey style, so Alon in the Masters 8 maybe? Not 100% on that, but I guess we'll see. And then obviously Greninja and Ash parting ways. A little weird that Ash Greninja was not present at all. Maybe it's going to be saved for later, hopefully, but it does feel kind of out of place for Ash Greninja to not be used here. But whatever, the flashbacks were great. Like, it's really cool that Ash was basically explaining his history with Greninja to Go while these flashbacks were playing in the background. It was cool in my opinion. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for today's episode review. So overall, a very solid episode. A great episode and a great return for Greninja, in my opinion. I give today's episode a solid 9 out of 10. So in the comment section down below, post your thoughts. What do you think of today's episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think about Greninja's return compared to other character returns? Do you think it's up there with the best? Do you think it's one of the worst returns? Whatever your thoughts, post them in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And guys, have a great day or night wherever you're at, and I'll see you all later. Bye.